go.
Hi, welcome to Toni Time. We've got a wonderful, wonderful man on our show. We're starting a new segment on hair. Jonathan Salon in Portland, South Portland. The owner of the shop is here today. James, welcome to our show.
Thank you. Thanks.
And we're going to start a segment monthly about all different types of hair for men and women. And the thing that attracted me to you and your shop was they have very good ethics. And by that, I mean, I was sent there to buy product. Not once did you say to me, oh, well, who's doing this, who's doing that? James let me come in, buy the product. He was charming. He was wonderful. The shop is wonderful.
Thank you.
It's comfortable. And so I hope that you learned something from our show. We're going to do a monthly, like I said. And he's a teacher, a guru of hair.
Thanks.
You are the guru.
I try to be.
Welcome to Toni Time.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
So how did you get into hair?
It's one of those things that just happened. I didn't plan on going to school. It's kind of a neat story. I went with a friend of mine. She was signing up. She had to go sign all her papers and blah, blah, blah. So I went with her, and we're sitting in the administrator's office. This is in Portsmouth, New Hampshire. And the gentleman, he was the owner of the school. And he's looking at me, and he's like, and what's your name? And I told him, and he said, men make a lot of money in the industry. And I was like, oh, yeah, I'm thinking, well, I don't want to really get involved in it. So anyway, talking, he knows my dad, he knows all about me, he knows that I have aunts that are hairdressers, and yeah. So it was one of those things. And then, of course, I start thinking about it, and I'm like, I can make lots of money. And so I actually signed up. So my friend and I started school together, and it was a great journey. I would do it all over again. In fact, in 2006, I think it was, I became an instructor, and I worked at a hair school for a couple years, and here in Portland. And they taught me a lot, and then from there, I became a Redken artist. So I worked for Redken for 3 years.
I remember when they were just so hot on the market.
Yes.
Just so
They
hot.
were the hot commodity. Yep. And they taught me wonderful things. I learned a lot of stuff. And that was such a exciting time in my life.
Yeah.
Of course, there was a lot going on. I was also opening a salon. And anyone that owns their own business, you know how tough it can be to try to do 5 things at once. You need to focus on one. So with that being said, I did end up resigning from Redken. And 2 years ago now, I think I started working for Wunderbar. Wunderbar is a company out of Germany. Same thing, I go around to different salons, I educate them. I attend, hair shows, and I go to trainings and stuff like that.
You're constantly learning.
Constantly, yes.
Constantly. Yep. You find a lot of hairdressers become very set in their ways.
Yes.
Stagnant.
Yep, comfortable. Don't want to learn anything new. No, I can't. Oh, no.
Right.
Which is not good.
Which is what's so wonderful about you, because you're always learning.
Yes. Yep.
And you keep up with the trends, and you keep up with everything.
Yep. And the one thing I've learned too is, even if you don't agree with what the instructor or whatever is saying, you're there to learn something. If you pick up one thing from it, you've learned something.
Right.
You might tweak it a little bit, or change how you're presenting it, or consulting with your clients.
Make it your own after you learn the information.
That's huge. Huge.
Because you can't sell anything unless you believe in it.
Yep.
And you can learn what it's about, but you have to sell it your way.
Yep. And the biggest thing is, be yourself. And whatever you take from your education, always, always, always continue learning. Because the minute you think you don't have to learn something new, you might as well get out of the business, because this business, like hairstyles,
Yeah.
always changes.
Well, you're
So,
a entrepreneur now.
yes.
So I mean, and I've been that my whole life.
Hmm.
And it sounds wonderful, but it's a lot of pressure
It's a lot of pressure. Yep.
because I mean, he has the most wonderful shop. The way it's set up, you have 6 stations,
Yes.
6 stations, and the way your shop is set up um, is perfect. You have your privacy, and yet you can talk to the other hairdresser if you'd
Yep.
like. You
It's
can keep an
open.
eye on everything.
Yes. Yep.
But yet you feel like you can talk in private.
Yep.
And I mean, being an entrepreneur in hair,
Hmm.
and you're always learning and you're always keeping your eyes open. Now, what else does your salon offer?
We were pretty much a full service. We offer massages, we offer facials. That's the relaxation studio part of it.
Ah,
And we used to do nails. We don't really do it anymore. Um, Not that it wasn't a hit. It's just not. It's too easy to go elsewhere.
right.
It's one of those things, if you go to a nail salon or whatever, that's what they specialize
Yeah,
in.
yeah.
All of us did do nails, but it wasn't a huge call for it.
No.
Did I want to push that? No, it wasn't something, because it's not a,
You're working smart.
yeah, yeah. So that particular area is where I have those two black tables, those
Hmm.
pub tables. And
Right.
so people can sit there, they can read magazines, they can drink a cup of coffee or, tea while they're processing. Um, like you said, we do have 5 other stylists besides myself. And, we all have our clients that, in between you might
Hmm.
squeeze in a haircut, you
Sure.
might apply another color, so that area is a huge, huge help.
Okay, now as far, you just brought something up, coloring hair.
Mhm.
I mean, that can be a whole thing in itself.
Yes.
And what's your take? I mean, what have you learned the important things on coloring hair? I mean,
The biggest thing that I've
yeah,
learned would be to listen to your client, and really, before you even pick up a tube of color to mix, really double check that that's what they want. Your version of, a chocolate brown and my version of a chocolate brown could be 2 different things.
right.
So, what a lot of people don't realize is what colors make up a color. So, when
Hmm.
you have a brown, for example,
Yeah.
there is red and there is yellow in it.
Hmm.
So, if somebody says, "Oh, I don't want to see any red," how do you get rid of it?
Yeah,
That's what you
yeah.
need to know. So, you need to mute that out a little bit by adding, something that counteracts it, which would be like a green or yellow. If you don't want to see gold, then you need to add some, orange or blue. Just kind of mute it a little bit. So it's a tough call.
It's a tough call, yeah. Tough call. I mean, how many times have we, women, men, we have been, you go to the store, you need shampoo, you run out of shampoo. Well, this one sounds good, this one sounds good.
Mhm.
James got me on a program where I'm not doing that anymore. And I really got frustrated. I spent more money getting shampoo, CVS, Walmart, here, there. Oh, this sounds good. This adds texture, this adds thickness. And I mean, I have baby fine hair.
Yep.
I don't have the best hair in the world.
Yep.
It's naturally curly. And when James and I were talking, I said, I can look like a bowling ball if it's cut too short,
Yep.
or I can look like an explosion from a mattress company or a mattress. But it's you've got to be real careful. And I walked in there, and you gave me such a comfort level.
Oh, thank you.
Naturally curly hair, not the best hair in the world. And what we need to do as we go forward.
Right.
And I'm not buying these little shampoos here and there anymore, and my tub is not covered with 4 different kinds.
Right. I hear that all the time. I do not need another product in my bathroom. Well, okay, then let's start with the right one. So you can throw
Right,
all those products out, you know.
right.
The biggest thing is educating your client on their hair. You know your hair,
Yeah.
but why is my hair doing what it's doing? Well, okay. You know, there's a lot of brands out there. They're okay, but you know, for example, curly hair, you naturally lack moisture. Whether you have a slight bend or a kinky curl, you lack moisture.
Mhm. Mhm.
So how do we get moisture in the hair? You need to add a moisturizing shampoo.
Right.
You know, there's also you know, sulfates, surfactants, all the products that are in a shampoo. You really should read the ingredients
Mhm.
because it's probably not good for your hair. So, um, what we believe in, our biggest thing is, you know, it shouldn't have all the junk in it.
Right. And you
So,
mentioned all the junk when I was in the salon.
mhm.
Mention the junk to our audience so they know not to do that.
Right, right. Well, for example, you know, the products that we offer, it doesn't have sulfates, there's no parabens, there's no DEAs, there's no TEAs, there's no sodium chloride, there's no dyes, you know,
Okay.
artificial, anything artificial, you know, that's really where you want to avoid it, especially if you have curly hair. If you
Okay.
have dry, coarse hair,
Mhm.
same type of thing, you know. When you start putting that in your hair,
Mhm.
you're going to see a huge difference.
I have.
So,
I
and
have definitely.
right, and when you came in that day, you know, it's one of those things you take 5 minutes and you just talk to somebody,
Mhm.
you know, you could gain a client.
Yeah.
They could get the product and leave, but they're always going to remember, yeah, that person sold me this and that, and
And he
wow, it
talked
really
to me.
works. Yeah,
He talked to me
yeah,
like a
yeah.
person.
You weren't just somebody walking through the door.
Yeah, and you weren't making a few bucks off me.
Right.
You were concerned about what I was buying for my hair, what type of hair I had.
Yeah.
And you don't find that. I mean, you really, really don't.
No.
That's why I was so impressed with the salon and James and everything
Thank you.
because it's so far and few between. And you know out there, I'm a New Yorker and I've been to salons.
Yes.
And I mean, those are, you know, to find someone like you here is just for me a gift.
Well, thank
You
you.
are a gift.
It's hard because knowing what I know, it'd be like walking into your doctor's office and they're just like, oh yeah, yeah, you're fine, get out.
Yeah,
Well, you're not fine. It's the same with your hair. What's wrong? You know, what can I
yeah,
do? I'm just asking your opinion. You know, whatever it is,
yeah.
it doesn't cost you anything.
And you don't lose your patience.
No.
I know you don't. I was asking Michelle here, she works here, and you all know Michelle. She said she has wavy hair.
Hmm.
It's kind of coarse. But she gets a little curly around here. And I mean, her hair always looks good, you know, but
Yeah.
it's a coarse hair. So, I mean, for coarse hair, you don't need moisture, right?
Well, yes, you do.
Okay.
Everybody can use moisture.
All right.
So for her, depending on what she does daily,
Mm-hmm.
would depend on products that she would have to use.
Right.
So if she's using a like a oil-based product or
Mm-hmm.
something, that would help smooth and soften. However, you can overdo it. So certain types of products definitely do help, and it's knowing the right one. So and that's where we all believe that each one of our products is for somebody.
Right.
And,
Exactly.
and getting you on that regimen is our goal. And you know, if you don't like it, if it's not working for you, because after you leave, you're doing your hair on a daily basis.
Yeah.
If you don't like it, bring it back. It doesn't hurt. We'll switch you over to something else. Because there could be
Does
two
do
or three
that.
different products.
Yeah.
You know that like I did with you when you came in. I
Right.
was like,
Right.
well, we can use this and we can use this. However, this is the difference between this and this is the difference with that. If you don't like this, bring it back. We'll switch you over to this.
Yeah. And
Because
that's exactly what he did.
right, because I don't know what it's going to do in your hair when
Yeah.
you leave. It looks great when I do it, but you might get home and it's like, what's going on in my hair? You know, so that we
Right.
don't want because then you're going to hate your hair. You're going to hate the product and your hair.
Right.
So
Right. You know, and you
not a
don't
good
want to
thing.
do that. So you want to know
Hmm.
that you can come back with something you bought, swap it out,
Yes.
if it doesn't work for you when you're doing your hair.
Yep.
Now, I want to go back a little bit for when you opened your shop.
Hmm.
What was your goal?
My goal, I really, I wanted to be successful. I wanted to educate people. I just wanted, I guess you would say, everything to work out. And it was the scariest thing I've ever done in my life, leaving from one thing, jumping into another,
Hmm.
not knowing what's going to happen. Are you going to fall flat on your face? Everything you've saved and worked for, you're putting everything in. You're robbing Peter to pay Paul. So
Oh, yeah.
when I did that, I th- I didn't really think about what I was doing. It just happened. That's the only thing I can tell you. My goal with it was to make it successful because anything in life we're handed opportunities, and I'm a big person in reacting on those opportunities, whether it failed or it was
Hmm.
successful, which it's successful, thank God.
Yeah,
But I didn't know where it was going to go. The Scarborough is a tough area.
yeah.
It's great once people get to know you.
Hmm.
We've been there September will start 6 years.
Wow.
So it's been a long time, and where that 6 years has gone, I don't even
It
know.
flies by.
It does. Yep.
It flies
Yep.
by. When you own your own company,
Yes.
time doesn't really matter.
No. But you're putting 200% in,
Yes.
and then you've got your home life, and you're just it's got to keep going, and you
Yeah.
still got to pay your bills,
Yeah.
So um, today, I can honestly say I'm very proud of myself. I'm very proud of
Should
the
be.
people I have working there.
Hmm.
I feel honored, and it's something that is exciting. Every day there's something different. If you have a chance to do it, it's go for it.
Go for it. Yeah, you
Yeah.
see, I agree with you thoroughly.
Hmm.
If you have a dream, and that's a theme of our show always,
Yes.
go for it.
Yep. Yep.
You might not have a nickel to your name,
Yep.
but you can figure it out
Yes.
if you really want it.
Yep.
I mean, you should be so proud of yourself, like you said you are.
Hmm.
And that's a lot to accomplish to
Yep.
jump in. And you do take everything you have and you put it in it because it's
Pour it
all
in.
or nothing.
Hmm.
All or
Yep.
nothing.
Yep.
And you know what that does? That conditions you for anything.
Yes.
For
It
anything.
certainly does. Yes.
Because you take away the fear
Yep.
and you
It.
trust yourself.
Yes. Because if you can achieve that, you can achieve anything. You know.
I've always said I could take any business
Hmm.
and turn it around if I
You
had
had
to.
to. Yeah.
I could turn it around.
Absolutely.
Because you go into it the first time, which is very exciting and very scary, and you'll never have that moment again.
No. No. Like we were talking earlier, not knowing what you're up against is actually better.
Oh, it's much better.
If you go in blind and you just do it, it's better off because what you don't know
Hmm.
won't hurt you.
No,
What you do know can hurt you.
can hurt you, and you're better off not knowing
Yes.
and just being yourself.
Yes.
I mean, 10 people could open up a salon
Hmm.
in Scarborough all around you, which probably are, but they're not you.
Right. Hmm.
And people think, oh, there's so many around here. Oh, the competition. Oh my goodness.
Yep.
But they're not you.
No, and see, that's one thing I don't believe in. I don't believe in if I couldn't get somebody in, say you walked in and you couldn't get in, I would actually extend myself and say, would you like me to call a cappella or bake a pelly? You
Hmm.
know, putting myself out there because you're going to
Right.
remember that. No,
Yeah.
you know what? This guy was great. He helped me out.
Exactly.
I'll book in. Are you working Tuesday? Are you working Wednesday? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because that's what you do for people. It's not about bashing
Right.
and, being snotty, and that doesn't get you anywhere
No.
in life.
This is why I wanted to have you on the show. I wanted my audience to meet you, get to know you, be
Thank you.
comfortable with you, to
Hmm.
know your knowledge. Because on each show, we're going to give you more and more information. We'll probably do a haircut on the show
Yep.
going forward. But, when I found a gift here, uh, I want to share it with you.
Thank you.
And, it's really, I encourage people to take a chance. I've encouraged people to if they want to talk about it, call me,
Absolutely.
That's what this is all about.
Yep.
So now let's go back to the hair and different types of hair in
Okay.
this show so they can start knowing and where we're going to go in our shows in the future.
Okay.
So we've talked about my curly hair,
Yep.
but then there's other curly hair that's healthier than mine.
Actually, your hair isn't bad at all.
Well, I mean,
It's very forgiving.
it's forgiving.
Yes.
I have forgiving hair.
Yeah, you can do anything with it. You've
Oh.
got tons of body.
Yeah, I do.
You
I
can wear it
do.
curly. You could wear it straight. You can do a lot with it. It's not kinky.
No.
It's the perfect curl. Yep.
Oh, my hair is blushing right now.
It is. That's because it feels good.
That's right. So okay, so now let's go to poker straight hair. People with just straight hair. I would think it would be the cut that's more important for them than anything else.
Yep. That's a very good point. When you have straight hair, it's more, you can see everything. You can see all the cut lines, everything. Depending on the color, it stands out more. Straight hair is great, but you need to have a great cut.
Yeah.
The texture, finer straight hair, it's more forgiving than, let's say, coarse straight hair, because the diameter of a finer hair strand versus a thick coarse, it's almost like they lay on each other, so they get bigger and bigger and bigger. So
Okay.
sometimes if you have a straight across cut on somebody with really coarse hair, it's going to pile up on each other. So it's going to be big at the bottom. So you
Alright.
might need a little bit of layering
Okay.
down underneath, because then it thins it out. So if you think of this,
Uh-huh.
if we cut off those corners, it actually lays skinnier and flatter towards the body.
Wow. Now, do you take into consideration shape of face?
Yep. Shape of face. Let's say you had a long face and you had hair halfway down your back that you pulled up front. When you look at somebody, our eyes, or anything, a wall, your eye travels. So the first thing it usually picks out is color. So if you had bright red lipstick on right now, the first thing your eye is going to see is that lipstick.
Right.
So if you had a long face and long hair, it's going to elongate the face. And you probably don't want your face longer. So keeping it, probably a little bit off the shoulders, it's going to shorten the face and not elongate it.
Okay.
If you had, like myself, for example, I have a very round face. If I grow a beard, my face just looks bigger. I do grow a beard because I've lost some weight, but yeah, last year was the first year in quite a while.
Wow.
But anything that's round, if you make it wider, it's gonna be more noticeable.
All right.
If you have the perfect face shape is a pear. I mean, not a pear, oval. A pear-shaped face.
Yeah.
You don't want to have more bulk here.
Uh-huh.
You want to elongate it. So probably more length. Square. I wouldn't do a bob on somebody with a square shape because it's going to elongate their jawline. So
Okay.
yeah, there's all different kind of tricks and stuff. And again, it depends on the texture of the hair, the type of hair they have, whether it's coarse or thinning or fine.
Well, I found that women turning 40, starting menopause, who I mean, I know when I was 40 and I started all of that, I went blonde.
Okay.
I went platinum.
Yeah.
I mean, that was pure bleach on my hair. I did all these crazy things. But everybody at that time was doing the blonde highlights.
Okay.
And bangs. Everybody was doing bangs because the
Yeah.
forehead is getting a little wrinkled, and so you want a wisp of
And hide
bang.
them and
Yeah. So now, do you find that? I mean, do you say, okay, this woman, psychologically needs to be uplifted? Maybe she, yeah,
yes, and I always ask, what are we doing with your bangs?
yeah.
Oh, you know what, just take a little off. Because if I just went in and cut them, you know,
Oh, yeah.
that's not going to be, that's not going to work for
No,
them. Some people like to tuck, so
yeah.
they want that length. If you're a new mother,
Mm-hmm.
you're probably putting your hair back a lot, so you don't need these falling in your face all the time.
Right,
So,
right.
but yeah, it depends. I mean, most women know what they want. If it's something that I don't really think would benefit them or look
Would you
good,
tell them?
absolutely. hmm This is just my opinion, but I'm just going to point this out to you.
Yeah, and see,
So,
that honesty, I mean,
hmm
is
yep,
so important because you're not looking at the bottom line
right,
dollar signs. You're
right,
looking at the person.
yep,
This is what it's about.
yep,
You know, because tucking behind the ears or any of that can make a difference. Like, I think deep cut layers,
hmm
look great
hmm
on a lot of people. Am I wrong?
Depends on the hairstyle.
Okay, so it depends on the hair.
Mhm.
All
Yep.
right. Now, as women get older, for example, um, there's a whole crowd out there that watch this show who play bingo.
Okay.
Um, and it looks like their hairdresser gives them all the same cut. They all look alike.
9 out of 10, yeah, the stylists might want to go to a hair show or attend a class or something, just to pick up a different idea.
Okay.
Some people, if it's a latest trend, let's say, for example, if you did like it's short and stacked in the back, and then
Mm-hmm.
it's longer in the front. That was huge. Everybody was doing
Yeah.
that. So, you can get stuck on certain hairstyles.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that'll look great on you, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Well, A, are they going to be able to style it that way? B, um, what's their long-term goal? Do they want long hair and then you're cutting it all off in the back?
It's one
You
thing I
know,
love about you is that,
ask questions. It's
yeah,
huge. hmm
huge.
hmm
Um, when you started to go and cut my hair, I explained that I wanted it a little longer yet because of summer and curly hair kind of shrinks up
hmm
and he cut off such a wisp everywhere that it gave me enough shape
Yep.
and gave me this because you guys are always seeing my side profile. And I didn't worry. So, if you're afraid of going to a hairdresser and say, oh my God, he's going to cut all my hair off, James won't.
Nope.
No, he's going to ask you.
Yep. We're going to ask you a lot of questions,
Yeah.
especially because you've never been in there. I don't know you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what you do. I don't know what you want to do with your hair.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you know, in a year you might be in a wedding. You're trying to grow your hair out, and here we are taking an inch off every haircut. Your hair
Right.
only grows a quarter to a half inch a month. So
Is that all it grows?
that's all it grows.
Wow.
Yep. Some
Okay.
people exceed that. It depends on
Yeah.
the individual. Hair generally grows quicker in the summer.
Didn't know that.
Yep.
Hmm.
So in the winter, it can slow down the growth a
Wow.
little bit because our diets all change and everything like that. So yeah, there's a lot of
Didn't
little
even think
things.
about that stuff. Did not even think about that.
Yep.
Now let's switch over to hair shows.
hmm
I've been to many hair shows.
Yep. A lot of fun.
What's your take on hair shows?
Um,
Because it seems like they're always trying to do the extreme. Because it's all hairdressers at the
yeah,
show.
because the reason why you want that wow factor is because we all hairdressers pretty much we know what we're doing.
Hmm.
We know what color does. We know how to cut hair. So what are you going to do up on stage that's going to be like, oh my God, that's awesome?
So shock value?
Yeah, shock value is huge. Is it something you can take home and do on your clients? Probably not. Um, working with Redken, for example, there was always a summer
Mm-hmm.
or a spring summer fashion and a fall winter. Um, a lot of those styles, could you do that on your client daily? No. No, not here in
Right.
Maine anyway, where it's
No.
not New York City, it's not California.
Right.
But it's just to kind of broaden your horizon. Now, could you take a piece of that and maybe apply it to what you were doing?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. I don't. I don't think that, a lot of people really go outside the box. They get stuck
Yeah.
or they hesitate or it's not something they're comfortable doing. So you just have to try it and get a model.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, I would love to work on your hair. Can I use you as the model?
Yep.
You know, we'll do it free of charge, blah, blah,
A lot of
blah.
my models, when I owned my talent agency, they not all of them wanted to do the hair show because they
No,
were afraid.
yeah. Oh, I've working the hair shows, I've seen some stuff where I cringe for the person,
Yeah.
you know. Um, yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And walking through the hair show, it's just a three-ring circus.
Yes. Yep.
There are hairstyles, there are makeup, there are nails. It's just
People are going 100 miles an hour.
100 miles an hour.
Yep.
And it's a crazy, crazy show.
Yep.
And they do have classes, they do have different things, but
Yes.
do you walk away from those shows with knowledge or do you walk away with just
Wow.
product, looking
I
at new
walk away with
products?
a very lighter wallet, unfortunately, because I
Okay.
spend way too much money. So,
Okay.
yeah. No, it's a great thing. There's always new tools, there's new shears. There's a lot of new things that are coming out or stuff that is just launched or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. A lot of the vendors, we try to go to Las Vegas.
Yeah.
It's called IBS,
Yep.
International Beauty Show. They also have one in Tampa and they have one in New York.
Mm-hmm.
But it's fun just to go to Vegas because it's a 2-day show,
Yeah.
but you can,
You can play.
go out on the town as well. But those, they're huge, they're massive, and it's it's just fun. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of walking. You're
Mm-hmm.
exhausted, but it's a lot of fun. When I was working the hair shows, we did one down in Mohegan Sun, and that was incredible. You, like you said, 90 miles an hour. You're just
Oh yeah.
constantly go, go, go. So I'm glad I can be a guest at the hair shows now.
Yes, yes.
So yeah, maybe eventually, maybe next year, Wonder Bar will
I was just
start
going to
branching out.
ask you about that
Yeah.
Wonder Bar. Now you work with them, you
Yep.
teach for them.
Mhm.
What pulled you to that product? What?
My sales rep caught me at the right moment, at the right time,
Okay.
and it. I was not a happy camper, and she was like, Jim, we just got this in, just try it. If you like it, you like it. She gave me a brief history about it, and I, it was amazing. My sister, who works at the salon as well, she was actually the first person, or the first blonde, and she was like, "Oh my God, this stuff is awesome."
Wow.
So then I, used it, and I was like, "Oh my God, it's spot on all the time. There's no guesswork.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a wonderful product, and it's scientists that the 7 different scientists from 3 different companies that came together and they formulated this. So these particular companies sold off,
Mm-hmm.
and they didn't want to go with them to the new owners. So they together came together and formulated and
Wonder Bar.
created Wonder Bar. Yep. And it's like I said, it's out of Germany. It's been over here. I'm gonna say probably 4 or 5 years.
Okay.
It's not a lot of people know about it. It's still a baby. So that's part of my job with the owner to make this bigger. And I'm really excited about it
Oh, I would be
because
too,
they
yeah.
are, they're great people. They're
Mm-hmm.
small.
Mm-hmm.
They're still a baby, you know.
And it's
So,
great to get in on the
yes,
ground floor.
yes. And it was, like I said, it was one of those opportunities that presented itself. And, working for different companies, people usually seek me out. And that was another thing that had happened. They're like, "Oh, do you want to educate for us?" And I was like, "Sure,"
Sure.
you know. So
You believe in the product, so that's a very
yeah, it's
easy.
honestly, it is incredible,
Hmm.
incredible. So,
Wow.
yeah.
Well, I think, with all that you're doing and all that you've accomplished, I mean, just listening to you right now,
Hmm.
um, you've accomplished a lot at a young age.
Yes. Yep. Thank you.
I don't want to know your age, but I know you're young.
Yeah.
Um, but you've accomplished an awful lot.
Hmm.
Now let's touch more on the massage part, the spa part of
Sure.
your salon.
Yep.
How did that start? What can people expect when they come?
Um, we started. It was always there.
Yeah.
It was something we always offered, and Jonathan,
Mm-hmm.
the Jonathan Douglas,
Yes.
he does the massage and the facials. We have another lady that we subcontract out,
Mm-hmm.
but they work very well together.
Good.
And so there's couples massages. You can do best friend facials. We call them
Wow.
BFF facials. So you and your girlfriend can get a facial at the same time. I usually help out John with that if Darlene's not available.
Okay.
Um, the it's about the experience, and that's really our motto.
Yeah.
Um, and when you go into a place and you're just wowed, like you were, that's what we want to be about.
Yeah.
And that was my goal. So,
I mean, it's so much that is going on in your shop, but you don't feel the chaos.
no.
You don't feel the craziness.
No.
It's very smooth.
Hmm. We, uh, we all work well together.
Hmm.
Getting there was not easy. It's hard to, I mean, anybody can walk in somewhere
Hmm.
and try to fit in. Do you fit in? It's hard to get that fit.
It is.
So, we're all different personalities. We're all very much creative.
Hmm.
And then Jonathan will come in and he's very calm and
Very
he's the,
zen.
yes, he's the spa end of the deal.
Uh-huh.
So, and he's like, okay, what? Oh, nothing, so and so, blah blah blah. So, but this is all, we would never
No.
present that on the
No,
floor, but
and they don't.
no. So,
But that's all part of any
that's
business.
right. That's anywhere.
And salon business, fashion industry, it's all,
Yes. Yep.
you know.
And it, who we have now, we just work well together. I have a barber. I have a woman that used to own the hair school. I have my sister who's been doing hair. She used to do my hair. Look
Okay.
what happened to her. Don't go to her. No,
Don't
I'm
go to
kidding. I'm
She's
just
going to
kidding.
shoot you
Yes,
now.
she is. No, but she's been doing hair forever, so she's always inspired by me, and it's funny because when she sits and watches me,
Yeah.
when she first used to do that, I'm like, "What are you doing?" And she's like, "I'm just watching you," and then I'll hear her talking to clients. They'll be
Hmm.
watching me, and they'll say, "Oh, he's blah blah blah," and she's like, "Yeah, isn't he great?" So
So it's a good feeling.
it's a good thing. Yeah.
It's not, it's a sister brother. Good thing.
Right. Right.
So you also, I mean, men
We,
coming to your shop, you
yeah.
have a barber.
Yeah. Yeah. Ramon's
Um,
great. I have a woman that owned the school.
great.
She used to own Headhunters, um, and she is amazing. Like watching her inspires me. But
Hmm.
I used to work for her. That was the school I went to work
Right.
for. And we have Anton. He's been there for
That's the gentleman I met.
yes. Yep.
Sweet guy.
Yeah, he's really nice. So we just kind of all work together, and then there's John and Darlene, and
Hmm.
so
So see, everybody, you've got to come. You've got to come to the shop
absolutely.
because Um, it's the most important thing you can do for your appearance,
Hmm.
for just feeling good about yourself.
Yep.
There's a lot of places that have salons and um, where they have a spa area and whatever, but
Hmm.
here it's more like a family feeling. You know,
Yes.
come in with your best friend, get a facial, get your hair, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
You're not treated like cattle.
No. God, no.
No, no, no.
No.
And that's what just impresses me, and that's why I want to have you on my show every month.
Oh, thank
I
you.
want to
Looking
attack.
forward to it.
I want to attack the problems that people in our audience have with their hair,
Yes.
men and women.
Yes.
I
Yep.
mean, men. I've seen some men. Okay, here's the thing I do not like about when men get a haircut.
Yeah.
Stop it in the studio. I hear you back there. Um, when it's cut straight across,
Hmm.
it makes the man's neck look fat from the back,
Like really wide.
really wide.
Yep.
And I know more men will say, "Oh,
Yep.
why can't we have that little up and down
Hmm.
look?"
It depends on the cut again.
Okay, all
So
right.
if you're, again, if you're a military, police officer, something like that, you're kind of limited to what you can do.
All right.
But I usually ask, do you like your back squared off or do you like it natural and rounded?
Yeah.
So
Good.
most people, it's rounded. Um, it really depends on the hair. If
Okay.
you've got a really weird or bizarre hairline,
Mm-hmm.
that can inhibit things too. I
Okay.
know, I have a couple of clients in the back. It goes up and it goes that way. So the growth pattern on your
Mm-hmm.
hairline is a real challenge
Wow.
on some people. So you have to get in. You want to get in there closer. They don't want you to, so you have to leave it a little longer. But it's got to blend in with the rest of the cut.
Wow, so much to do.
I know.
So
See,
much.
see, yeah.
God, we ran out of time. My God.
That's okay. This next month.
Yeah, there's next month.
Mhm.
Oh, so we're going to have lots of surprises for our audience as we do each show. And Wonder Bar, you're going to bring some of their
I'm gonna
product
bring
on,
some product
just so you can
and
see.
yeah,
Not
see
that
what
you
it looks
have
like.
to
Yep,
just see.
yep,
Knowledge is power. So just
absolutely.
sit back and drink your coffee when you're watching our show or your vodka or whatever it may be. Uh,
Right, that's what I'm drinking.
yeah, straight vodka. Yeah, I am too, with a straw.
Cheers.
So, James, I want to thank you so much for being
Thank
on
you
the
very much.
show.
Thank you.
And we're going to move
It's a
forward
pleasure.
on this. And you do have a website,
Yep, JonathanDouglasSpa.com.
okay? And that will be at the end of our show.
Mhm.
Don't be afraid to call.
Yep, call
Say,
me.
yeah.
If you want to shoot an email, it's jdsalon@maine.rr.com.
Okay.
You can give us a call at 207-871-8942.
Wow.
You can ask any of us anything. Usually me, Monique, or Jonathan will answer the phone.
Okay.
But yeah, if you got a quick question, give us a call.
Great.
Yeah.
Great. Give our audience a wink. You've got the cutest little wink.
Thank you.
Anyway, we'll see you next month again.
Yes, definitely.
And I want to thank everybody for watching our show today. And we'll see you again. Rolanda, good luck at bingo. And I'll see you all later. Bye-bye.